Hello, my friends. Amy with Campbell Creations, and today we are going to make a fun necklace and pair of earrings using Bargain Bead Box August 2024 Peach Sorbet collection. Primarily, we are using that. What we're going to be pulling in today is we have the 8mm rounds from the box. We have one of these beautiful little Lampwork beads that we'll be using on our focal, along with one of the leaves. We have the teeny tiny little bead caps that came in the box that we'll be using, as well as the 5mm shell beads. I will also pull in from the box this stainless steel lobster claw clasp. And what else we're going to be pulling in today is the wire that I'm using today is 20 gauge gold wire. I found from one of my bead hauls, I literally have 6 of these Peridot beads. I went through everything that I had, and all of the greens were just off from what I wanted to match this leaf. But I did find these, and I have 6. So that's going to be, I think, exactly what we need for this set today. Also, from Hobby Lobby, I found these shell rice beads that I think pull in perfectly with our little shell rounds that we have. So I will link their website link for these, and they're really good priced, and aren't they just cool? I just love them. I thought that they would be perfect in this, so we'll be using those. And let's see, I have a little bit of textured chain here, and it did come from Bead Box Bargains. It's the really thin textured gold chain that will be with the focal, and then this chain here I got from Temu, and it matches those links that we got in the box perfectly. I mean, identical. Let me see. Perfect, absolutely perfect. But we won't be using these links today. I had tried a couple things with these links, and I thought, not for this piece. But we will probably be pulling in some of this chain. So let's get started. We are going to be making some wrapped loops, as well as just regular standard loops today. And I'm liking the way I'm thinking about tying them in together. So a couple of our links that we'll be making are these, and I didn't want to overdo them. So I have 2 of the little baby bead caps here with our shell rice bead, and then 2 of our 8mm peach colored beads. So we'll be doing that. And then the other link we're going to be making is pulling in that peridot. And so I have the 5mm shell beads. I'm going back to back with those baby bead caps, and then a peridot in the center. I think this is all going to tie in really pretty. I'm really excited about it. So let's first go ahead and we'll make up our wrapped links, our other couple wrapped links that we need, and then we'll start with the focal before we do everything else. So what I have cut here is 4 inches of 20 gauge wire, and we're just going to be doing wrapped loops with these. So I'm going to come down about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, and we're going to wrap this up. Kick that back, and we'll do 3 wraps. 1, 2, and 3. 3 on one side, 3 on the other, so we're good. I'm going to be coming back in where I came from to make my cut. It gives me the best flush cut. Then we'll just tuck in that little wire there. Make sure there's nothing pokey there. So here, just straightening this out a little bit. And we are going to do one of our 8mm, and I didn't want to bead cap on these, but I do believe these bigger bead caps that I got from Fire Mountain will use in the focal. But we're going to do that. And then one of our little babies. These are kind of hard to grab, but I love these little babies. Do one of our rice seed beads. And then another one of these. And I'm thinking we'll need 4, we may need more, but we shall see. Then we'll just make a wrap loop on the other side, making sure that it's going the same direction, right? Come up and around. Kick that back a little. I do try to go as close as I can here when I'm doing this. We're just going to do 3 loops. 2 and 3. Ooh. I didn't know my own strength there. Give him a nice flush cut. Let's get him in there a little closer. Him down and hopefully in with his friends. A little more. Deal. And now I'm just making sure that these are even. He'll come right over here. So we'll knock out this other one. And then today, for our little standard loops, our little simple loops, I'm going to bring in my one-step looper. I've had a one-step looper for some time. I have the smallest one. That's the only one I have right now. It's, I believe, the 1.5. And for me, it's only for certain things, because sometimes it's just as quick or quicker for me to just make those simple loops instead of using the one-step looper. But especially if I'm making a lot of links, I'll want to pull it in, just because my hands can get sore from doing that if I'm doing a lot and doing it for an extended period of time. But today we'll introduce it and we'll kind of talk about it a little bit. But I wanted to mix these wrapped loops with simple loops because I didn't want to use jump rings for this, but I wanted some of that difference in contrast, you know, with what the wrapped loops give versus a standard loop. So I thought, let's mix it up. That way I don't have to use jump rings. And let's get him in there. That one's a little tight. Just wiggle him a little bit. Yeah, he has a bit of a tighter hole. Let's make sure he'll go down. We can grab another one. Oh yeah, he's tough. I don't want to break him. Teeny tiny. Let's grab a different one. Let's see how this guy does. Let's go from the other side. Nope. The other ones that I pre-made, they just went right in. I didn't even think I would have a struggle because they just went right in. So we're just going to try a few of them. Look at the markings on these though. They are just stunning. Love them. That one's good. Okay, we'll put these guys up. Then we'll put bead cap on him, or we'll grab one. They're just little bitty guys. There we go. Go in that same direction. Kick him back, spin around, up and over, rotate again, kick him back. And it's only these links and the focal that we're going to do wrapped. 1, 2, 3. .20 gauge wire is my favorite to make wrapped loops. The wrapped loops on the teeny tiny wires like that guy there, those are the hardest for me. I use a tool because if not, my fingers slip and I can't get a tight wrap. But still, sometimes there's something. Okay, he's good. Make sure he's nice and straight. Now let's talk about our focal. So what I'm wanting here with the focal is I'm wanting a piece that has the dangle that comes down from it. So I'm going to do like a wrapped link here, and I'm going to use that little bail that came in the box, and then we'll have some fun things coming down from it. So since it is the focal, I am going to be using bigger bead caps, and I'll use those bigger bead caps on our 8mm guy here. So let's get this started, and then we'll go ahead and knock out our focal. And 3. It's just pokey there at the bottom. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and do bead caps for this. So I'll do bead cap, one of our 8mm, and a bead cap. And then I think I want these guys there. So one of these with our bail in the middle, and then we'll do another one of these, bead cap facing away. I love these peach beads. I love them. Little crackling that's in there, but not too much. So then this is what I'm thinking for our focal, and then our dangle coming down from there. So our last wrapped loop for this project, or so I think, we'll see. Who knows, I may end up needing more links, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm feeling good today. Today's the first day I'm feeling good since all that food poisoning jazz went down. Woo, that was no messing around, let me tell you. And I didn't realize that it could linger for so long. There's our 3. This is why sometimes I do extra wire, just so I'm not stuck with pretty much poking myself at the end to get those loops that I need in. But this one worked out. That's all right. tucked right in there. Good job. Okay, so here's for our focal. So let's see what we wanted to do. I did bring out a couple jump rings because I'm thinking I'm going to jump ring, let's see, we can do, I want to do one of these that came in the box. These are the pre-made links that came in the box, so I want to do one of those. I think I need, yeah, I think I want another peach bead in there now that I think about it. So let me grab one. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, I think I may want to do one of those, the white one, and then I want to do this guy at the bottom with our leaf hanging down. I think that'll be pretty, and I don't think it'll be overdone that way, and that's what I brought in this chain for. So yeah, let's do that, and I'm going to do a simple loop on this guy and on this guy here. So let's go ahead and get our leaf prepared. And so what I'm wanting to do with my leaf is I'm just using a ball head pin, and I'm going to put that ball head pin through my leaf. That way it gives the little pop of the dot in the front. I'm going to hold this secure here all the way, and then I'm just going to pop this up. That way it just rests there and hangs and dangles a little bit, but not too much. And I guess we're not done with wrap loops, huh? I'm going to do a wrap loop on this. And actually, I'm going to start the wrap loop because I probably want it to go right on that chain. So I want to start here right above the leaf so that that loop comes right up and over the top of that leaf. Bring this around, swivel him, swivel this around. He's a little bit wonky looking. Let's fix him up. Just need to squish him down. Here we go. Then I'm going to bring in my other pliers. We'll give him a few loops. If I could see that wire. So 1, why am I shaky today? I've been fine all day. 2, and then now I'm getting shaky. Oh my, Amy. Amy. I'm so shaky that I'm messing up my loop. Wow, I think that's a first that I've folded my loop. 3. And I'm going to squish these up a little bit after I cut this off. Like I said, this is my toughest wrap loop is with these. These baby ones just get me sometimes. See how he looks from the front. Oh, that's not bad. Just bring them up together just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll tuck that in. And I didn't stop him, so I'm going to have to jump ring him now. I'm all discombobulated with this leaf. He just got me, didn't he? So let's see. I don't know how long I want that chain yet, so I'm going to hold off. Let's go ahead and should I bead cap him down here? There's an awful lot going on with this. And I'm going to just do a little simple loop for him here. So, I guess to pull in with these, it would be good if he had a bead cap. So let's grab a couple more of them. So I'll grab 2 2 of these. And how about we grab our one-step looper? So if you don't have a one-step looper, know that they come in 3 different sizes. This is the only one I have right now, the 1.5 millimeter. And what I'm actually wanting is the next step, which is 2.25. The 1.5 is these standard tiny loops, kind of like the loops that are here on the pre-made links that we received. And the 2.25, it just, I don't know, in watching reviews for it, I'm thinking that it might be a little more consistent. One thing that's a drawback for me on this 1.5, and I don't know, maybe with the other ones, is how wide this grip is. See how wide this is? I have small hands, but still, this is a pretty wide grip, so I end up having to put my finger in between here to get started, just to get a hold of it. And when you're using the one-step looper, you're just coming straight through here. This little hook that you see here that comes down, that's the part that's going to cut it. So you just need it past that hook, right? You see how these two come together? That's what's going to make the loop and then cut off the excess. Now, if my wire's too long and I need to use that, we have a little hole in the back that this will go through just to make sure that it can accommodate longer wire. Okay, and then it would cut it off from that point. But I'm going to make our first loop, and I'm just going to go just past that. You see, just past that there. And I always go really slow with this. I go slow because, especially if there's another bead on there, I get a better loop, and it keeps me from the fear, which is always my fear, that I'm going to end up cracking or harming a bead, right? But I just close it all the way, and then I give a little pull so that I have that little neck on it. Then I let it go, and we have our loop. Okay, and then the piece, here's the piece that it took off, just a little bitty piece, and it pops it out the back. Now a lot of times, and with this one, you see that it's off some. So you're going to have to make that little correction with it. And so this is why sometimes if I don't need, you know, perfect, you know, all the same size loops, or if I'm not trying to save my hands from making a million loops, then I just make my own loops. Okay, but this one-step looper does have its advantages. It does. It just depends on if that's the thing for you. And it's not the cheapest, you know, little tool to get, so it depends on if you think that's something that's going to fit you. Will you utilize it or not? And for some, yes, especially if you have arthritis, or if you know, it bothers your hands whenever you're making them over and over and over. It's a good thing. So now that I have this on here, this little link for the bead, we're going to come back in here, and since it's longer, I'm going through that hole. And what I'm wanting to do is I want this back part here to rest almost up against the bead, but not quite. So as I'm making this, I'm going just slow, right? So I'm going really slow, pull my finger out, let it close, kick it back a little bit, and open it. And you see, it didn't kick out my piece, but I can make it kick it out. But you see here, it's kind of wonky, so I'm going to have to fix it. Not a problem. But what I find sometimes is I can't get as close or as tight of, you see how there's a little bit of space in here? A lot of times with the one-step looper, you are going to have a little bit of space. It depends on what you're making, on if that is acceptable or not. And this, I think it is. So we'll go ahead and use that. So set him aside, and I think I am going to jump ring this to it because I want to also attach my chain to that jump ring to have our dangle of our leaf. So let's get jump ring out, and actually let's take a peek at what our length might want to be. So if I come in here, and if this is what we're looking at, and if my leaf is this size and I want it I mean, if it's a little bit lower, that's okay, but looking at that length, I'm thinking maybe 5 links. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that 6th link. I'm gonna come in, and this is pretty good chain, so I'm gonna squeeze twice, and then I'm gonna slide it through, and by the time I try to squeeze twice, it'll cut. I do that because so often I'm unintentionally marring my cutters, and I don't want to. So since now we have to have a little jump ring on here and we're having a jump ring on the top, I'm only doing 5. I don't want it to be too long. Okay, so we'll get out another little jump ring here. It wasn't my intention to jump ring that leaf on there, but it'll be okay. So first let's get him connected there. And I may have some smaller jump rings. If we don't like the size of that jump ring, we may pull in a smaller one. Then we'll get the jump ring connected at the top. So let's grab just that bottom. Oh, I don't know if you can see, sorry. Just grabbing that bottom one there. I'm gonna hook that on my bail, and then I'm also going to hook on my first bead. Then we'll get that closed up. I always give it a little pinch. Sometimes I don't need to give it a pinch, it's kind of habit, but all right. So here is what we're looking at so far. And I'm going to connect this little guy onto our peach bead, peach colored bead. Get him closed good. And then for our little lampwork bead, let's see. Actually, I think I need a flat head pin for this, or maybe I'll do a ball. Let's see. Oh, sorry, moving stuff out of the way. I have some ball head pins that are thicker gauge, and that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna go with. These thicker gauged ones. So we'll grab one of those. And then, now that I'm thinking about it, I might want one of the bigger bead caps on the bottom. And then I think one of those small ones will fit right down in the crevice there. That might look really cool. So this wasn't planned to be a design with me. I kind of knew what I wanted. Just needed to put it together and see if what was in my mind is what would happen, but let's see. Oh, that's cute. Yep, that's happening. That's happening. Yes. See that little gold pop on top? That fits perfectly. I like that. Now I'm gonna need to be careful with I'm gonna make a simple loop here. I am not using my one-step looper because I have these pretty little guys popped up here on top and I am not taking a chance. So I'm gonna need to be careful whenever I'm making this wrap, just to make sure that I don't harm those little dots that's there. So I'm gonna come up a little more than what I normally would. There might be a little room on top, but that's okay. as long as we don't harm our little top pieces. Come in here. Good cut. And then we'll just wrap him up. I'm wanting, like I'm putting my thumb here because I don't want to give any resistance on this glass bead. It's pretty fragile. I'm trying so hard to be careful with this that I'm messing up my... So yeah. That's good. And if we didn't do the leaf, right, if I wasn't hanging this leaf, then I would probably put maybe one of those little peridot up here on top. But we are going to have that leaf, so that leaf should be dangling maybe just above this guy. Let's see. Close him up really good. Let's see how we're hanging here. Yes, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Okay, so there's our focal, my friends. That's good stuff. I like that a lot. Okay, so let's get going on the rest of this piece. So I have these done. So let's see, I'm wanting our focal, and then I'm thinking these might be good coming off the focal, kind of pull in that green. Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll just do them all the way up. That'll be pretty. And that pop of green will be awesome. Good stuff. So let's use our one-step looper and we will make a few more of these. So for these, I cut 1.5 inches of 20 gauge wire. So we have that. I'm going to pull back in my one-step looper. I'm going to come just past that little hook. I go slow. Give him a pull back. I'll fix my little loop if he doesn't turn on me. He says, no, don't fix me. And we have our little loop there. So what I'm wanting to do for these is one of our little 5mm guys. And then I'm going to do bead caps back to back. So I'm going to do one facing towards that bead and directly another one coming away from it so that it kind of embellishes on this peridot bead. I like that. Okay, and one facing away. And then one of these guys. Get him in here. Don't know if he's so long he has to go through the back, maybe. And I'm going to go really slow here. Easy squeeze, kick it back just a little bit, open it up and bring it out. Gotta be easy on that because, as I drop my pliers, you've got to be easy on that because that kind of gives a pop whenever it goes over, whenever it cuts and goes over, and you don't want that to slam up against your bead. So that one's pretty close. You see it got it pretty close. There's not much wiggle room going on. So we're gonna make a few more of those and then I'll clean up my mess here. And I haven't flush cut these because the one-step looper is just gonna cut it off anyways. Okay. Come on, little fella. I love these little 5mm shell beads. I love little lines that go through them. They are just stunning. I'm wanting my loop to go the same direction, so I'm going to make sure that that's fixed up. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Give it a little kick back and bring it out. Three. And what do we need? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. We may need 6. I'll make 4 for now. Let's see how this looks. Actually, it's starting with this, so it'll need to end with this. I'm going to make 6. So I'll go a little quicker here. Well, as quick as I can, considering I go slow with this one-step looper. Ooh, look at that one. That is so cool. Yes, I'm distracted by beads, always. Let's make sure there's no wiggle room there. Super slow. See how it gives its own kind of kickback a little bit? I just give it a little bit more, just a hair. So you see how tiny these loops are? That's why I'm wanting the 2.25. It's more of a standard size of a standard loop for what I use or what I typically make. When I go slow, I tend to get a better loop, but I go especially slow when that bead's there. Oh, there's more than one on there. They are just so tiny. I love them though. Even though we have to fidget a lot whenever those bead caps are tiny, I just really love tiny bead caps. I don't think I've seen any that's tiny like this that's just, you know, without any decoration or anything on them. I don't think I have. I have not had any. Okay, just making sure of my placement here. Super slow. Last one. I don't know why some days I'm super loud with my tools, but I really am. I don't mean to be. I'm not throwing my tools around. I'm not that kind of chick. Not that kind of gal at all. All right, last one, my friends. Those are done. Thank you, One Step Looper. All right, so let's link these together. And the thing is, I really wanted the difference in contrast with the wrapped loops on some and not on others. And it also helps keep me from having to use jump rings. If I needed to use jump rings, hey, that's all right. And sometimes I really want to use jump rings for the additional flow, but I wasn't thinking I wanted to this time. Not for this one. So you see our standard loops can link to our wrapped loops. And I'm kind of back and forth on whether I want to leave this straight or if I want to bend it up some. I think I'm going to bend it up some. Just like a partial smiley face, like little smile. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Yeah, we'll do that. So while I'm just putting these together, I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on something, and I really do want to know your opinion on this. This isn't something that I'm just trying to get your comments. I'm really wondering your thoughts. So typically, whenever I preview and watch one of the tutorials that I do, it's on my TV. And a lot of times when I'm watching YouTube in general, I'm either on my TV or I'm on my iPad. Well, I wanted to pull up a video, and when I pulled up one of my videos on my Mac, the music sounded a lot louder than it does when I watch it on my TV or even on my iPad. And I don't know if it's a setting on my Mac, and I didn't know if it was, so then I decided to pull it up on my phone, and I could hear the music more when I watched it on my phone as well. And it was hearing it more than what my intention is. And so it makes me really curious, and I want to know what you guys think about this. Is the music distracting? Is it too loud? Should I remove it? Because at this point, I'm thinking I'm just going to remove the music from the background. And I may very well post this one as my first one without any background music, just to kind of see. But I'm curious. I've had, in all this time, I've had 2 people comment just saying, hey, I would rather you not have any music at all. And so early on, I had asked in general what you guys think, and didn't get too much feedback on that specifically, and that's okay. That's okay. I thought, well, if it is really distracting to you guys, surely you'll let me know. But just me having that moment of, wow, that's louder than I intend it to be. And I have it on the slowest setting for background music as it'll go. So please do let me know. I want your feedback on that. I'd be perfectly fine to fully remove it. It's just sometimes in the lulls of me talking, or during the times whenever I say I speed up the video to do a process and speed it up, it's really for that. And it's those times that I had thought that you guys would be able to hear the music, but on my laptop and on my phone, I could hear it a lot more. So I would appreciate what your guys' thoughts are on that. And we'll see if I end up putting music on this video or not for this one. All right. So, gosh, guys, look at that. This is what I wanted. It looks like what I wanted it to look like, and I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to bring this guy to the side since it's getting kind of long. And I'm going to put these up top, and then we will measure it and see if we need chain and how much we need if we need it. I believe we'll need some chain. And so you see how I just fixed that? You guys know that's why a lot of times we end up using jump rings just to help that kink from not happening. But here, I wanted, especially with some having wrap loops and some not having wrap loops, I just wanted that direct contrast. So no jump rings here on this. But boy, I love that focal. So let's see where we are. So if I come down here, we're at 6 to about the bottom of hem. Well, about 8.5. Let me see, let me put it on here. 17 isn't too bad. I think it'll need to be a little longer. Yeah, it'll need to be a little longer. So I'm gonna get some chain. I'm gonna like the way that feels on. If I wasn't packing to be leaving for Dallas today, I would have my husband take a picture of me, but I'm not getting myself too much ready today. All right, let's see how much chain here. I want to measure this on my neck. I'm gonna need, because if this is at 17, we're gonna do 4 inches. So if we're bringing it from here, I'll go ahead and take off this little connector here, and we'll use that amount. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I'm gonna have to do 9 so I can take 1 out of the center. So that's what we'll do. I'll take it off after this. And the way these links go, I got this from Temu. You see how it's like a little infinity link that's there? What I've been doing is just taking this and just bending it back. Oh, well, I gotta get the right side first. There's the right side. And this is stainless steel chain. And I feel it. It's stainless steel, all right. Okay, so we can put this chain up. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna take these. I guess I didn't need to do that, not with this. Amy, I tell ya, but I do want 4. So let's do wrong side again. And now I get to take off just one at the end. Amy didn't think that through. I wasn't thinking about these links. Then I was thinking about regular chain. Taking one off to get that. Man. Yeah. Those are hefty. That's good chain. And this chain was really cheap. I mean, yes, it's from Temu, but it was really cheap considering. And stainless steel. Happiness. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and get this connected, and then we're going to knock out our other earring. Okay. And I'll just put, even though that can clasp right onto the link, I'm still going to put a jump ring on the end of one, and then I'm going to put jump ring is already with this, so I'll leave that jump ring. We'll put that on the other side, and then I'm thinking that our links can go directly on these, but we'll check and see. Oh, there's a little bitty gnat. How about that? But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Okay. I do have some bananas, but they are brand new and fresh, so they wouldn't have any little fruit flies. I do have tomatoes in the windowsill though. Maybe I'll go grab them and check and see if one of them is maybe not as awesome as I think it is. Those work okay on there. All right. Oh, I need to swap these. I'm just swinging for the fences today, huh? Wrong side, Amy. Amy's time waster today. There we go. That's the side we need him on. And this is the side for you. And I tell you, I've been making necklaces and earrings and necklaces and earrings. I'm ready to have a tutorial that's all about the bracelets. What do you say? I have a lot of beads, and I received 2 amazing bead boxes, or bead box and a bead bag this weekend, so happy stuff. That is so pretty. That is just so pretty. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so what are we going to do for earrings today? Let's see. Let me grab this other piece. I have one made up. Simple, but a little more than what I normally do. Okay, so I'm trying to go outside of the box here with my earrings. I hope you're proud of me. Lever back with just one of our 8mm, one of our links, and one of our leaves at the bottom. And I like that. I like that. I even put it on and I felt like I was in the 80s with one long earring and the other ear having nothing in it. All I needed was my hairbrush and some Debbie Gibson. Oh, or Whitney Houston. All right. Don't need to be going all there. You guys do not want to hear me singing. Okay, so let's go ahead and knock out our leaf. So we'll put him on there, and again, I'm just going to hold on to him. I'm going to bring this up just so he's a bit of a hook, but I want him to still be there on the front. Actually, a little bit there. See, so we just wiggle in there. We'll make a wrap loop and see if I can do it better than I did the last one. Seems like, especially here lately, my wrap loops have been just terrible on these little bitty guys. Okay. Get a good hold on him. I'm gonna hold him crossways a little bit, see if I can stay out of the way. One, two, three. I kind of did it. Good job, Amy. Let's come in here. Down where he needs to be. I told you I'm loud with my tools today. Okay, so there's that guy. Now, do I think I have one more of these. Yep, good. Maybe I need that one-step looper again after all. I do. So I'll come in here. Make sure and get my finger out of the way. Pull him back. I have all kinds of tools going on here, don't I? He was kind of skewed a little bit, so I fixed him up. Make sure that's all the way closed. We'll do some bead caps on this one. And I'm not quite sure, but neighborhood dogs just started going crazy. I'm hoping you're not hearing them. Bring this in here. Get it right up against for this one. Go really slow. Little kickback. Take that out. Oh, and I didn't do them the same direction, did I? That's okay. There's no front and back for him. So, how are we wanting to do this? I want this guy first. We'll connect our pre-made link below it. And then our leaf. I'm loving this set. I know it feels kind of springy, but I think it can also work for kind of a fall vibe, you know? green leaf is the one thing that makes me think kind of springy, but I do not care. I love it. We're still in summer. Liking it. And again, with my lever backs, I don't cinch these closed at the bottom because I like to just use one that's gold, one that's silver, one that's, one in all of the tones. And then I just have all of my, components that go on to them. That way they're more universal and I don't have, 25 sets of these that I'm using personally. I love this. I'm so happy. Okay, let's clean up here. And then we'll lay him out and take another look. Ah, I think this is just gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love that pop of green throughout. That is just so beautiful. So beautiful. That makes me happy. All right. This is one of my favorites. I love it a whole bunch. I hope you guys love it too. And I thank you so much for being here with me today. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you could, let me know what you think about that music, whether you want to, comment or whether you want to email me. My email and all of my contact information is in the description of every single video, okay? So just let me know one way or the other what you think so that I know what I'm doing with this music. And then until we meet back here on my bead mat again, I hope you guys have a fantastic day and I look forward to being with you again. Bye-bye, my friends.